Hello, and welcome back to Precious Memory Box's Junk Journaling. My name is Bobby, and today I am finishing up part 6 of the collaboration with Pam from Silver and Sparkles. And we have both been working with her Meadow Blooms Kit. It's available in her Etsy shop. We each created a journal, and then we used some different prompts, like pockets and flips and flaps, and we did some page edges and just different things that we showed in our various videos. And now we're ready to add our covers, and Pam has already done her video. I am behind as usual, but I thought I would bring you along, and I have 2 ideas for covers. I'm just not sure which one I want to do, so I thought we would just figure it out on the video. And then I want to add some more lace details, and I've got a bunch of tags that I need to add backs to, and so I just thought we could chit chat for a little while I work on finishing the journal. It won't, it's not going to be anything too new to you guys, but just a fun craft along. So one of my ideas for the cover was to simply just add a metal nameplate and just glue it on there, and maybe find something maybe that says journal, or some sentiment that I can put in there, and just simply do the cover like that, because I do love metal. And then my other idea was to maybe do something with this. Is a pattern or a lady off of a pattern. Let me grab the one I cut it off of. So Pam went on a yard sale, the 127-mile yard sale event that they had this year, and she picked up some vintage patterns, and she was sweet enough to send me some of them. And I really enjoyed seeing what she found. She found a bunch of lace and trims, and if you haven't seen that, I did a video not too far back of the goodies that she sent to me from going on that, and it looked like a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get to go next year for a part of it. But anyway, this lady is cut off of I believe it's a 1950s pattern, and I just thought she was pretty. And I thought about maybe first putting her on a guest check and then adding that. It would probably still look good. It would just need to be maybe vintage, maybe make it a little more vintage looking. But I don't know. I don't know. That just didn't resonate with me. But I did have this old dictionary page, and I kind of thought it would be neat to maybe see if we can round the corners. Maybe I'll use this as a way to help me round the corners on it, because this paper's pretty brittle. And maybe just ink it all up and glue her down to this. And let's see if I can raise this up a little. Get all my corners rounded. And then we'll just flip this over. I love dictionary pages. They are so cool. Especially old ones, and it's hard to find. I believe I got this page from another friend, if I remember correctly, that she sent me in a paper pack. Oh, well, I might have to take my scissors and round that one. Let me do that. And then we'll put I want to put a little ink on it to kind of give it a little more vintage look, because I think the vintage look goes along with this kit here. So let me grab, we'll use the walnut stain. I haven't used that one for a while. And let's see if I can use this to help steady it a little bit. I'm just inking the edges here to help it look a little more vintage. So I believe this is part 6 of our collaboration. And then what we'll do next is we will mail these to each other, and we'll each do the flip through. So Pam and I are going to trade our journals, and we'll each do the flip through of the completed finished journal, where maybe we'll each add some extra little touches to it. And going to add a little bit to her, and you'll get to see the finished journals that we traded with each other. Like I said, I will have this kit linked down below if you're interested. Pam has a lot of wonderful kits on her Etsy shop, and she's got some nice fall ones that she's added too. And I'm sure she will have some pretty Christmas ones coming up soon. So if you're looking for some new printables, check out Pam's. It's Silver and Sparkles. All right, let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and glue her down. I did get a new glue stick in finally. I had used up my other ones, so I ordered a couple. And at the end of this month, I may have a I'm going to a junk journaling retreat at the end of this month. And so I'm kind of thinking of maybe doing a what should I pack, because I've only been to one other retreat ever. I went to one last year, a Bible journaling retreat, and that was a lot of fun. And so this year, that was in New Hampshire. This year I'm going to one in Georgia. I flew to New Hampshire. It's about a 17-hour drive. So I flew. I hadn't flown since over 40 years, since I was a child. I flew once. And the plane flight was fine and everything. It was good, but it was so tight. And I'm a bit claustrophobic, so on the way back, I decided to drive. So I drove home 17 hours, and I tell you what, it took me 2 days, and I had a wonderful time just driving through the mountains and home. It was a really pleasant drive. So, but this time I'm going to Georgia, which is only about a 7.5 hour journey, so that won't be too bad. Okay, guys, I like that. But I still feel like I need to add something to it. So let me grab the printables, and I've got a lot of papers in here and different items from Pam's kits. And let's see if I have some flowers. I'm trying to find where the flowers are that I have. And I have some butterflies. I have some flowers from the kit that we could cut out a little more and kind of add to that. That might be pretty. I also have 2 large tags, but I think they're going to be too large to put on the front. And I was looking, here we go, here's the flowers I was thinking about. I was wondering if one of these might look pretty. They might just be too tall is the only problem. I should have printed them about half size. Let's cut one of those out and we'll see what we think. So this is strictly, you can see how my brain works when I kind of work on projects. And I like that. I like to watch people and see their creative process. Some people don't. Some people just want you to cut all the pieces out and have it ready to go and don't make them wait, and so it's a little different for everyone. This is what I was kind of wondering if this would look good, but I don't. I think that's too big. I don't really want to cover up my lace that much. So let me see. One more thing. Find those flowers. I didn't look to see if maybe there was a smaller flower there. So let me look. Hope you guys are all having a good weekend. And let's see. I'm just going to pull all the flowers out here and see what they look like. So I do have a smaller blue one, and then I have some typed up words. Let's see what this blue one might look like if we cut it out. Here's the printable. Okay, let me do that. And then we could maybe even add some words if we want to. So let's see what this looks like a little bit. I was thinking about maybe layering somehow a little bit. See if we like that. See if we need it. Nope, I don't like that. Let's see. I like that tag, but not right there. I think we're just gonna go with what's here, and maybe I can cut out this flower here, and we can kind of set it down in the corner. And I think we're gonna go with that. I think I like the girl on the front cover. All right, let me give that a quick ink. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and lightly glue this down. Let me try my glue stick. Bigger area there, we can just use the glue stick on it. All right, maybe. There we go. These are photo glue sticks, acid-free, special photo safe formula. So if you do a scrapbooking or memory keeping, these would be great for that. All right, and I'm just going to kind of center that. And I think, don't know if I want that there or there. I think I like it at the top. I'm going to do that, and then I may come back and maybe print off another one of these or a different color if I have it, and add one to the bottom to help anchor that. Or maybe I'll find a little washi tape that we can add to that. All right. All right, so press that down a few minutes, and we'll set that over here to dry, and then we'll kind of maybe work on some, I probably will add some more pockets to this. Got a Rolodex card there that's fun. We've got a little gnat over here. I'm gonna see if I can get him. Drives me a little bonkers when they're going around. We've got some flips here, but I think I definitely am going to add some more pockets, maybe some more little pieces like this. This is just you untie it and it opens up to write on. All right, so let's just look at what things we have from the kit. And I also want to add some lace. Let's do that first. We'll add some lace to our pages. I've got some different colors here. And some of them match, some of them probably don't, but I just wanted to add some more, so we'll kind of set that over here to the side. I'm wondering, might be kind of fun if I could find a colored piece of rickrack and run that along there. So maybe I'll try to look for a piece that matches maybe her dress or her scarf. That's too much, too wide. So, but we could use this in the journal, probably somewhere yellow. We have kind of this tilly green that I think may go. We have a mint green and we have a dark green. And then let me set these others over here to the side and we'll see if we need any more after we add some of these in. So I do have some lace added back here with my buttons here. And let's see. Let's add something here maybe. And I'm thinking maybe one of these two greens, because we've got this dark green over here with the washi tape. So I'm thinking about maybe we could add this right here, and that would bring the two pages together. I think that's perfect. Let me grab my scissors and make sure we've got enough here. Here we go. All right. I think for this, I'm going to try to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac. So let me get my kind of messy mat here in case we get glue. We won't get it all on the other pages. I'm just going to try to put a light line of it there. And if we need more, we can come back and add more. Now, how I ended up with it longer, I'm not sure. Excuse me. Because I measured it to be the same length. Isn't that funny? Okay, so we'll let that dry a little bit and then I'll come back and cut that off. Or I could fold it over if I keep it even. What do you think that would look like? No, I don't like that. I don't like that. So we'll just keep it like that. We'll let that dry for a few minutes and then let's see what other page we want to add some lace or ribbon to. So that page there has too much going on. This one is quite blue. I think that would be okay, but let's see if there's a better one here. And I'll have to check. I may have brought some of my other lace in. We've got a pocket there, so what about this page? I'm wondering about this pretty green satin. If we'd like to do something with that. I do like that. I'm just wondering, maybe I need to think of something I can come back and add on top of that to kind of dress it up a little bit. Maybe a piece of that rickrack would look good. Okay. I'm going to add that there. Let's see if we can get this to lay down. This time I'm going to bring it, I'm not going to have it overlapping, but just to the edge of the page if I can. And I'll let that dry. And then I'm thinking about maybe taking a piece of this rickrack here and run it down through the center. That's pretty. I think that would be pretty. Now I just have to decide how I'm going to do that. I don't think it would stick with, let's try it because this is less messy. But I was going to say, I'm not sure if it'll stick with the glue stick, but we'll give it a try. We will experiment and find out here if that will stick. Okay. So I need to turn that over. See if I can line it up. That may work. That may just work. Okay, let me get a tissue here and wipe this glue off of here. All right, let me cut, see if I can, if it's adhered enough that I can cut it right here. All right. And let's see, it looks like I pulled it down a little bit to the top, so all we got is just a little bit here. There we go. Oh, and my fingers pulled up the rickrack. That's what I was afraid of. Okay, let's try to get it straight again. And then I will try not to bother it till it dries. All right, I like that. Okay, let's see if there's any other pages we want to add something to. So this one has a tuck on this side, so we won't add anything there. This one we could possibly add something to. I think this one might be a good candidate. And I think maybe our till would go with this. I think that would be all right. All right, let's use the Fabri-Tac again because it adheres quickly. All right, and we're just going to add it right there. Try to keep it even if I can. I may have to add a little more glue at the top there. Okay, now I can come back later and trim that up a little bit. Wait till everything dries. It's hard when you're trying to film things so folks can see what you're doing, and you know, you don't have the time for it to actually dry. But all right, and that looks good. All right, I think that's enough trim and lace. If I decide to put any more, you'll get to see that in the final flip through. I love this page with the birds and stamps. All right, and then the other thing, so we're going to let the journal dry. We'll set it up here, let everything we've been gluing dry. Let me take this trim real quick, and then I thought we could maybe just simply, I've got a bunch of different different tags from Pam's Kits that I thought maybe we could just add some backs to and get them ready to go in the journal as I continue to finish up here. So here's some pieces that I still have that I will try to maybe find a use for throughout the journal. So let me set those there. And then I have several different tags here, and I got a few tags in here that are from a different kit, but I want to use the butterfly ones. And those are from, if I remember the name of the kit right, Layers of Spring, I believe is the name of that one. So we'll use some of those. I also have a couple jumbo tags there. What did I do with that other one we were looking at earlier? See if I can find that. And let's see, I've got some fibers that I thought we could use. I'll just use that rickrack too. And I also have just some other pieces that I thought we could maybe use in the journal. All right. I also have some lightweight craft cardstock that I thought we could use for backing if we need it. So we'll just do a little crafting together here, and then you will get to see in the flip through how I finished off everything. So all the things you've seen me make, you'll be able to see how they look in the journal. So this is just an envelope, and I thought maybe I would add something, one of these pretties to it, just to kind of help tie it in with the kit. Could do something like this, maybe layer a little bit. Let's see. We've also got this strip. I think we're just going to simply go with adding this here. I need to put a new sponge on my dauber. This one is coming apart. Okay, so the envelope opens this way. So I think we will go this direction. And I'm going to do the glue stick, but I think I'm also going to add a little regular glue to it just to reinforce it. All right, get the pin back in my bottle. So we're going to go this direction because I think this will look good either way we add it to the journal. And we probably will just slide this. I don't think this pocket's big enough. No, but we'll just slide it down in a pocket, and that way Pam can open this and use it for anything she wants to add in there. We're going to have, I thought these journaling cards were perfect just like they were, and I grabbed them because they have some of the browns from the kit, and I thought that was a good way to maybe bring those into the kit. And so I really like this one. It's a cork design, and they're perfect just like they are. We could maybe ink up the edges a little bit just to give them a little bit of a antique-y look there. And then we can simply add them in, and this should be a double pocket, so let me see here if this will work. There we go. And then we've got a pocket here in the front. So we can do something like that. And let's see, did I leave room behind? Nope, I didn't. All right, so that will be like that. This is to be determined where we want to put it. All right, let's hold on to these. And, oh, I also have this card that I wanted to show you guys. It is from another project I worked on, but I just thought it was neat, and I thought it would be, we could kind of add it to one of the pages as a flip out. So maybe here, I'm thinking, And I'm trying to decide how we want to glue it on there. So I did do the back here, but I may go ahead and just glue this down here. It's too wide to glue that way. So I'm thinking maybe we'll go this direction. And then we've got this card in here. And we can find one of our tags when we get them done and add that. We could maybe add another one of our pretty medallions right here. That would be pretty. Maybe what I'll do is add it. Will it fit? I'm trying to see if it'll fit on the very edges of this, kind of like it'd be really close. So I think we're going to have to add it to the card. So let's go ahead and do that. But I do want to make sure that it's in the center. So let's see here. So that it will kind of cover up where that's at. So we may just go ahead and glue it in place right there. Alright, and let's see, which way do we want? I think we want it to go this way. We're just barely going to put it under there, and just barely put it under there, and just press that down. Whoops. There we go. And then we may just add some, we'll add a tag or some journaling cards there. Once that dries, it'll slide in and out of there with no problem. And that gives you some great journaling space. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And I think I'll just center it since it already has a journaling tag. We won't try to add something in behind it. I'm going to go ahead and use this glue because it is a heavier glue. And this is kind of a heavy card, so I want it to stay in place. Let me get a good amount around the edges. There we go. And let's see, do about right there. There we go. All right, and we'll be able to flip that open and we'll add some different elements to this over here. All right, now let's maybe take a few of these cards and let's just we'll do some, we'll back some on here, which I'm thinking this one I would like backed on here. So let me use my glue stick. And all of these tags will find a home in the journal somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it down to the side and as close to the side as I can so I don't waste paper. See, that one's over though. You got to make sure it's right on the edge. Okay, there we go. And let's see, let's pick a few of these that we want to use. So we've got the butterfly, I love that one, and that one. Let's use those. Make sure we have a little space between those. There we go. And then we'll do this one here. All right, we will let those dry for a moment and then come back and cut them out. And then I have some tea stain dyed paper here with some lace background, and not sure which I want up. I think either way will be fine. So let's do the lace side up. Let's grab some of the tags here. I hope you guys have enjoyed the series. I hope you will, hope you've watched Pam's, and hope you came and checked out some of mine. And we tried to do a playlist, but for some reason it would not let us both. We each have a playlist on our own channels, but for some reason it would not let us add the playlist from each other's channels. We got one or two done, and then it, for some reason, would not give me the option to add them to Pam's. I don't know why. So probably user error on my side. All right, let's do this one. Now, it will probably take me about a week to finish this all up, and then I will get it sent off to Pam. If you guys have any suggestions of something that might be fun to add to it, please leave me a comment and let me know. I would love your ideas. All right, let's do some, let's see, with for fun, let's do some with, it'll just have the paper on the back. So, you know, you don't have to make every surface writable. You could write over the writing from the dictionary page if you want, but sometimes I think it's fun just to be able to see the beautiful paper. So I'm going to do that one, and let's see if I have a smaller one that we can maybe get one up here. That one's too tall. Maybe I can go this direction. Maybe we'll do that and just cut off the excess. So let's do that. We'll just glue this portion of it. And we'll cut the other part off, and then after I get these all cut out, I'll ink them up, and we will add them to our journal. So let's just cut out these to see how they look, and then I'll cut the others off camera. And then we'll add a few pockets to this, and we'll call it a day, guys. And I'll do all my finishing touches and add a few little surprise things for Pam, and we will get it sent off, and then you'll be able to see a completed flip through of the journal on Pam's channel, and I will flip through the one that Pam sends me on my channel. I've had a lot of fun doing the collaboration, and it's fun to watch the ideas that the other people come up with. So that's one fun thing about collaborations. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this straight and just go straight across. There we go. And we can just make it like a journaling card instead of a tag. Okay, and so that one's got the word sideways. That's okay though. I may round those corners, and then we've got the words on the back here, and I like that. So those will just be more for looks than actual writing. All right, let me clean up here just a second, and we will try to do a few pockets, and then I will let you guys go, and you can see the final flip through on Pam's channel. So just move some of this over here. Here will be our journaling cards, and then I've got some extra pieces here that I may be able to use. Thinking about using one of those guest checks maybe as a pocket. Okay, let me add these over here, out of the way. Let's pull this down, and let's decide, do we want to use this like a side tuck? I think that would be fun. Let's take this off of here to make it a little shorter. Okay, and then I want to round my edge on this side. That will make it a little easier for papers to slide in and out. And then we'll quickly ink this. And I'll come back and maybe add something, some butterfly maybe. Something to the top of this. But I like the idea of that being in there. So let's add that. And we're just going to glue it along the bottom. And then along, make sure I'm doing the right. Nope, I about did the wrong side. This side right here. Okay. We're going to add this right here as a tuck spot. Maybe I'll cut out another one of the ladies and put on here to kind of tie them into the inside also. I'm really liking that, but I am going to try and find a few more little pieces maybe to embellish that with, but I love that. So maybe I'll cut out, there is a blue lady. What did I do with her? I have a blue one. There she is. On that same pattern. Her feet are kind of torn up, but maybe we can just make it. Let me do that so we can pull it off there. You can tell these are kind of brittle because they're older. So, but we will figure out a way to maybe cut her off and put her right there. And we can just anchor her with a little washi tape or something like that. So I'm going to leave that right here to help remind me to put that there. Okay, so we have this here. I don't think we necessarily need anything here. Maybe because it is a busier page, we could add a pocket of some sort. Let me see what I have in here. If I have some pre-made ones or I have some more tags in here that I can use. But I'm looking to see if I have any pre-made pockets. How about we make another pocket out of one of our dragonfly, because we did use dragonflies in here. So let me grab my trimmer. Okay, where did I put the trimmer? There it is. All right. I have to be careful with these trimmers because sometimes they don't want to cut right. So I'm going to cut off just a tad bit. Yep, this is the bad trimmer. I need to get rid of this one. Yep, that's not going to work. Okay. We will just hand cut it till I find my other trimmer. I have my eye on another trimmer that I would like to get sometime. For some reason, those trimmers with those little blades, they just dull out too fast. I cut a lot of cardstock, so that could definitely be part of the reason. I'm going to fold that over and make a crease so it'll make it easier to cut. And I'm going to fold this up, kind of just making a square. All right, I'm going to trim this white off the edge. Going to make this a little smaller, and then I'm going to round the corners, at least decide which corners I want to round here. Guess I would need to round these on the outside. There we go. It's kind of like a tuck too, but I really want it to be more of a pocket. So I'm going to get my notcher. I got a new little punch that just makes notches. And we'll give that a try. It's from Spellbinders. And it does corners, but it also does a notch. So I'm just going to try to center this the best I can. Oops, probably need to keep it down on the table. And there we go. We got a perfect little notch for a pocket. A little off center there, but that's okay. And like I said, I need to round, since I'm going to put it more in the center. Let's see what this rounder does. Hopefully it's not too much different than the other one as far as the... Let's do my other one. This is thin paper, so sometimes you have to back something behind some of those punches to get them to punch neatly, because the paper is just copyright paper. So we're going to go ahead and add that pocket right there. There we go. All right, and that'll leave us enough room to add a tag in there. I kind of like the botanical nature look that we've got going. So we've got a side tuck here, so we'll leave that like that in the ribbon. That looks really good. And we've got another dragonfly pocket here, side one. So we may need something to put right here. And let's see, do we want a tag? Trying to think what else we can maybe add there. Some kind of pocket. Thinking maybe something at the top, a top tuck, so that we can keep these really pretty flowers here. And let's see, I think I have this paper here that we could do just that with it. So let me, which side do we want? Ooh, I kind of like that side. Yes, I think I like this side. Okay, so let me kind of fold this. We'll make that the whole length of it. Okay, just about perfect. Just a tad bit too long, so I'm going to take a little bit off this side. There we go. And let's see. Let's put a notch in the center if we can. So we have to just kind of eyeball that. You could measure if you want to, but I think that'll be okay. There we go. All right. So we're going to put glue on these sides. I'm going to line that up with the top and the side there. I think I got it a little short now, but that's okay. There we go. Now we can take a tag or anything and we can put it up in here. Let's see if I have one of the tags that's already cut out so I can show you. So you can add a tag up that way or any other thing that you would like. So just another way to create a pocket. All pockets don't have to be at the bottom of your page. All right, let's see if we need anything anywhere else. I think we've got these flips here, so I think that is good with some little tags in them. And then let's see. We've got some lace here. We also have this fun pocket that we created out of the paper. And I'll add some more there. We'll leave this for journaling space. I'll come back and trim this off there. This page is pretty. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Let Pam decide how she wants to add to that. Here we have a fold down where you can write and journal. And made a little catch out of one of the pretty little circles. And let's see. I think we need something maybe to go right here. So again, let's see what kind of paper we have. Or I'm almost wondering if we should use some of the craft cardstock. Let me see here. And decide if I want to use the craft cardstock or use another one of the printables. We also have this really pretty green paper. We've got some pre-made pockets there. We could maybe use one of those. Maybe the green, one of the greens, so that it will contrast a bit with the paper. So let me cut this one out. And I think after this, we will be done, guys. And the next thing you will see is the flip through on Pam's channel. And I will have all the extra goodies added in. I'm going to attempt to make a tassel. Is that what it's called? Oh, my brain is not working. Not a tassel. What do we call that? It'll come to me after the video's over. But like a dangle. That's what it is. I'm going to attempt to make one to go along with this, but that is not something I've mastered making yet. But I'm going to attempt to do something. So Pam will have a dangle to go with her journal. Okay, so I was thinking of coming down from here. So we could do that. Uh-oh, I knocked the button off. I'll have to grab that and glue it back on. Or here. Here. Or here. I think here. I think this side. All right. So let me make sure I'm gluing down the right edges here. And here we go. So one more pocket right there. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope you will come back for the flip-throughs. And for all of you that have followed along in this series, thank you so much, and I hope you'll continue to watch Pam and I's videos. And I just hope you have a wonderful evening, and thank you, and God bless. Bye.